Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Nauseating Nostalgia. This time around, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Carrie. I think it makes sense since September is Stephen King's birthday month. And Carrie, I believe, is his first novel, and Carrie is one of my favorite Stephen King novels and one of my favorite movies based on a Stephen King novel. I have both Carrie editions on DVD. And eventually I'll be getting the new special edition, which is coming out on Blu-ray soon, sometime this month. This is the first DVD version that came out of the movie. The silk screen on the DVD is a little bit different. It shows a scene of Carrie in the shower. Or no, that's not Carrie in the shower. That's Carrie at the prom afterwards. It's a freeze frame there. And then shortly afterwards, there was a special edition of Carrie that was released to the public, and this one has a bit of a different silk screen. It has the fire on the Blu-ray or the DVD disc. Obviously the special edition has some more interesting extras, but they do have some different extras that are unique to each other. Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma in the late 70s, is based on the Stephen King novel. The movie begins with Carrie, played by Sissy Spacek, being picked on during a volleyball game. The next scene shows the girls nude in the locker room while Carrie showers. I've heard this is psychological, as most movie directors save nudity for a much later reel in the movie. At least back in the 70s they did so. Putting nudity in the first reel communicates to the audience that they can't trust the director and should have anxiety feelings about what they're going to see throughout the remainder of the movie. While showering, Carrie experiences her first period. She reacts terrified. Her peers react by making fun of her, throwing pads and tampons at her, and chanting, "Plug it up." Her gym teacher, Miss Collins, breaks it up. Later, she and the principal send Carrie home early and express bewilderment over Carrie's naivety. Later, we find out Carrie's mother, played by Piper Laurie, is an extreme religious zealot and possibly involved in some kind of cult. She tells Carrie she's a woman now and drags her screaming to the closet, where she locks her in against her will. Miss Collins, played by Betty Buckley, and the principal put Carrie's peers on a week's detention, during which they must exercise for an hour each day with Miss Collins. Ditching detention will result in a refusal of their prom tickets. There are three outstanding girls in Carrie's group of peers. Chris Hargensen, played by Nancy Allen, is a prissy, bitchy, pretty girl who hates Carrie the most. Sue Snell, played by Amy Irving, who has sympathy for Carrie and genuinely feels sorry for what she did. And Norma Watson, played by PJ Soles. She's best friends with Nancy and stands out just because she's PJ Soles. Chris quits Miss Collins' detention, causing her to be suspended for 3 days and her prom tickets to be nullified. She seduces her boyfriend Billy, played by John Travolta, to conspire with her in a terrible prank on Carrie, which remains a mystery until the final act of the film. Meanwhile, Sue, seemingly feeling genuine guilt and sympathy for Carrie, however unknown for sure by the audience, asks her boyfriend Tommy Ross, played by William Catt, to ask Carrie to the prom. He complies and causes Miss Collins to become suspicious of Sue and Tommy. She calls them into her office, asking them what kind of prank they have planned, and tells them to cease pursuing taking Carrie to the prom. Tommy shows up to Carrie's house anyway and convinces her to accept his invite to the prom with him. Billy are seen at a pig farm with a friend, bludgeoning pigs in the head with a sledgehammer. Later that night, Carrie tells her mother she's been asked to the prom and she wants to go. She intimates that she thinks she's funny and wishes to be normal instead, and wants to participate in all the normal things her peers do. Her mother violently tells her she cannot go to the prom. While arguing, Carrie causes the house's windows to slam shut with her telekinetic powers. Her mother calls her a witch who has Satan's power. She tells Carrie Satan took her father away. Carrie differs that her father ran away instead, and everybody knows it. Then Carrie confirms she'll be attending the prom against her mother's will. The movie cuts to a scene of Chris and Billy filling a bucket on a ceiling crossbeam with pig's blood in the gym where the school prom is going to occur. The next day we see Norma and her friend in a beauty salon getting ready for prom and laughing at the fact Tommy is going to take Carrie to the prom. They wonder aloud if Carrie will wear a sackcloth to the prom. Carrie makes her own beautiful pink prom dress. Afterwards, her mother warns her all her friends will laugh at her, and she begins to violently scratch herself and pull her own hair. Carrie subdues her mother with her telekinesis and leaves for the prom with Tommy, who is waiting outside. Carrie and Tommy arrive at the prom. Her peers are seen in the background, gawking and laughing at her, even though she looks just as good, if not better, than them. Miss Collins comes to their table to visit. During her visit, she intimates a funny story of her prom experience and tells Carrie she'll never forget this night. Tommy convinces a self-effacing Carrie to dance with him. She hesitantly does so, and they are seen having a genuinely good time together. Later, he also convinces Carrie to vote for themselves for prom king and queen. We later find out that Chris and Norma have conspired to trash all the real voting ballots and replace them with ballots that had been pre-weighted to give Tommy and Carrie the win. Thusly, Tommy and Carrie are declared prom king and queen. While walking in slow motion to the stage to accept their victory, we see Sue sneaking into the prom to see how things are going. While there, she notices a rope tied to a bucket on the ceiling crossbeam directly over Carrie's head. She follows the rope to the other end, where she sees Chris and Billy hiding under the stage and preparing to pull the rope. She tries to warn Miss Collins, but Miss Collins doesn't listen and throws Sue out of the gym in disgust. While Carrie and Tommy are on stage accepting their victory, Chris, apparently in ecstasy, pulls the rope, causing the bucket of pig's blood to tip over and drench Carrie in blood. The bucket falls on Tommy's head, knocking him out. The prom goers all look and gasp in horror. Shortly after, their horror turns to laughter. Carrie hears them chanting "Plug it up," while she hears her mother warning that they are all going to laugh at her. It's controversial if the prom goers are really laughing at Carrie, or if it's all in her head. Carrie retaliates by murdering all her peers and elders with her telekinesis. Among other things, a fire is started in the gym, burning them all alive. However, Chris and Billy escape out of the back of the gym. Afterwards, Chris tries to run Carrie over while she's walking down the street. Carrie flips the car with her powers, killing Chris and Billy. Carrie returns home to find it filled with hundreds of burning candles. She walks upstairs to her bathroom, where her mother is hiding behind the door. After washing the blood off, Carrie's mother holds and comforts her while producing a kitchen knife that was hidden beneath one of the floorboards. She stabs Carrie in the back. Carrie crawls down the stairs while being pursued by her mother. Carrie uses her telekinesis to make knives fly from the block and into her mother, crucifying her to the doorframe. Her mother's painful wails sound orgasmic. Carrie then pulls her mother from the doorframe while stone boulders begin to rain down from the sky and through the ceiling. She hides in the closet with her mother's corpse while the house is destroyed by boulders and catches on fire. The film's epilogue shows Sue in bed with exhaustion while her mother tells a friend on the phone that Sue's doctor says she will forget all about it in time and they will be going away for a while. Sue has a nightmare that she is laying flowers on Carrie's grave, which is the empty lot where her house once stood. Carrie's bloody hand reaches from under the rubble and grabs Sue's arm. Sue wakes up screaming while her mother holds her, trying to comfort her. I'm not sure if Stephen King based the story on the story of Elisha the magician in the Bible, but it reminds me of that story. It's in the book 2 Kings. In the story, over 40 children follow Elisha while he's walking somewhere, and they make fun of him because he's bald. Elisha curses the children, and 2 she-bears come out of the woods and tear the children up and eat them. Piper Laurie's acting is melodramatic, but it works. All the acting in the movie is excellent. The cinematography and lighting are excellent, along with the editing. The music is a little lame, and it has that sad flute music that a lot of movies from the 70s seem to have, but it is forgivable. The gym scene is made iconic by using 70s split screen to show the confusion and terror that's taking place in multiple areas in the gym. Brian De Palma's direction is excellent. It's full of divisive emotional scenes. It's most notable how relentless and evil Carrie's peers are towards her. It makes the viewer automatically sympathize with her, and ultimately it makes the viewer have strong hate feelings towards Carrie's peers, which is necessary in order to play with the viewer's emotions, especially during the third act when Carrie wreaks havoc. The viewer knows that vengeance is wrong, but the monster in us all really wants to see Carrie go apeshit on them. The most recent remake of Carrie makes the mistake of playing the bullying down, seemingly to be politically correct. This causes the zenith of the film to be deflated and ruins the whole film experience. Overall, the original Carrie is excellent and a highly memorable movie experience. All the remakes pale in comparison, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend seeing it. It is a very good movie. Thank you, and thank you for joining me, and have a good night.